daily delivery to Edmonton, and autosalvage.com.
This ad is presented by the United Conservative Caucus. The new Alberta-Ottawa energy deal will significantly expand Alberta's oil and gas production and create thousands of jobs, thanks to the leadership of Alberta's United Conservative MLAs. The consumer carbon tax is gone, the oil and gas production cap is eliminated, and the net zero electricity regulations are over. Let's keep Alberta strong and free. Visit unitedconservativecaucus.ca/surveys.
You haven't set your lineup yet, right? It's Fantasy Frenzy with Halley and Douglas on Sports 1440.
Presented by Wilhauk Beef Jerky, home of Alberta's best beef jerky.
Just after 11 o'clock, good morning. Thank you for tuning in to Fantasy Frenzy here on Sports 1440. Connor Halley, Brandon Douglas, Josh Fenwick, and Inter McKenzie with you here. Hope you guys had a great weekend. Fantasy Frenzy is brought to you by Wilhauk Beef Jerky, home of Alberta's best beef jerky online at wilhaukbeefjerky.com. Go check them out. Only available in Leduc. Text line is 1-833-401-1440. You can also email us, Connor at sports1440.ca and Brandon at sports1440.ca. Lots to get to on this show today. Of course, we'll talk some Edmonton Oilers. They dropped their second straight over the weekend. Nikita Kucherov in the process surpassing Connor McDavid to take over the league lead when it comes to points. No surprise. He also this morning was named Player of the Week for the NHL. 6 goals, 7 helpers, 13 points in 4 games played. Philip Forsberg's second star, and Cole Caulfield with 4 goals in 3 games was the third star of the week. We'll also talk a little bit about the March Madness brackets going on right now. I think I'm tied with Declan and Eddie Steele. So for me, that's pretty good company. 10th spot. We'll get Duke's update. I talked to Intern McKenzie. She's sitting in the 30s. She's page 2. You got to scroll a long way down. Also, we'll give you some info on our fantasy baseball league because baseball's back pretty much. Friday, Blue Jays kick off their season. We'll have it for you here on Sports 1440, joined in progress on the AM feed. So what that means for all Blue Jays games, if you're listening in your car or on a radio, you'll be able to hear the Blue Jays. If you're listening on an app, iHeartRadio, that sort of thing, our website, you'll get Fox Sports Radio. It makes sense legally. We can't be airing Blue Jays games online because then nobody will listen to the Toronto broadcast. So that is the reason for that. But great options if you want to keep listening to Sports 1440. And we'll be doing that all season long. When a game's going on midweek, we'll join it in progress after the Gregor show, which is really nice because having it on the weekends was great. Now, you're driving home from work. You hear my final update with Gregor, and then we'll kick it right over to the Blue Jays. So hopefully you guys will be tuning in to that. Duke, good morning. How are you doing today?
Morning, Connor. Doing all right. It's been an eventful morning already here inside the studio.
What did I miss?
Oh, just Eddie and Kevin were trading barbs.
Oh, people are feisty today.
People, by people, I mean Kevin and Eddie leveling accusations against Speck.
Oh, wow.
No. Yeah, all in good fun. But yeah, it's been a good morning. I needed a pretty upbeat attitude in the studio to try and keep me alert as I'm still nursing a little bit from my Friday night into Saturday exploits, but glad to be back.
For those who don't know, I don't know how much you guys got into it, but
we got into it.
You guys were playing a curling tournament down in Delburn, and
that's called a bonspiel, Connor.
Well,
in the curling world.
Yeah. Don't interrupt me.
A spiel.
Now it goes 24/7. You were playing games at 4 a.m.
I was.
It's kind of, by law, they can't have the bar going. So
right.
It was just
last
you guys.
Last call's at 2, as is the standard. But I will say they're a little lenient. I'm not trying to get anybody in trouble here. But at 2 o'clock at last call, my teammate and I, Brant, we went up to the bar and bought 30 cans of beer.
Did it last you?
No. we literally come back from the game. It was like, oh my God, we drank all those beers. And But it did well enough. And I will say I actually also got into last week when we had Sean Kincaid from Dark Cloud Brewing, the Ulsterman, come in. He left some Irish whiskey cream. That's from the Two Stacks Brewery. I took that with me. That came in very handy, both in advance of and after our 4 a.m. game, because I did not take the opportunity presented in the gap of play time till we got back on the ice at 1 to go take a nap or anything. I remained steadfast. I remained awake, and I drank quite a bit of that Irish cream in my coffee, which was still available to us, even if the bar was closed. So that was great and much needed, very much needed.
That's how you balance it out.
Yeah. So I think all in all, but I had a nap before I left Friday afternoon. I think I was up by 2:30 or 3. I went to bed Saturday night after the Oilers game. Would have been 11:30 midnight, maybe even a little bit after, because I watched a little television. So it was a long stretch with no sleep in between.
Well, you can sleep tonight, or when you leave work today.
Yeah, probably both.
Yeah, get a nap in.
Probably both.
So maybe you missed it, but the Edmonton Oilers lost over the weekend.
Oh no, I caught that. I listened to the first period on the radio broadcast on my drive, and then caught the last two upon returning home. And yikes. I actually think the Oilers played that poorly, but it's much like these other games where we've seen them go up against the Dallas Stars, Colorado Avalanche. I mean, hey, they beat them a couple weeks ago, but still, it's just, to me, you see the very clear separation of what a really good team looks like right now and a maybe just okay type team, which I'm sorry, that's what the Edmonton Oilers are coming across as in their most recent sample of play.
That's it. I mean, you saw Tampa Bay like a very good team, and I thought the Oilers had a good start. Don't get me wrong; like, we're in it for sure. And then the bottom just kind of fell out. The defensive lapses maybe that we've seen popped up again, and unfortunately, the Oilers couldn't get through it. They had some fight though, which was encouraging coming off Thursday's loss, where it didn't seem like that. With Tampa, they're throwing hits, they're fighting if they had to. Bud Cole's in a heck of a punch, but they don't pick up the 2 points, and again, the Pacific Division on Sunday night or Saturday night, awful. Didn't win a game. Yesterday, not quite as good. Vegas picked up the win, and, the Ducks are still obviously doing their thing, but not falling out of the playoff picture. There was the whole conversation Leon Draisaitl had while he was in Germany visiting a doctor, through the work of translators saying, the team goes long enough, he hopes to be back out there, and looks like he'll be back in Edmonton later this week. So we'll have to wait and see. I mean, it was like the things he said we all kind of already knew. They just kind of commented on that. On Scalding Gord says on Leon's interview where he said, I hope we can go far enough so I can help the team again. Yeah, well, it doesn't seem like much has changed, right? We'll have to wait and see. Go far enough. That's up for interpretation. Is that playoffs? When I get to the playoffs, we can go. We know Leon's the ultimate competitor and going to do whatever he can do to get back out there as soon as he can. So, yeah, we'll have to see. I was a little surprised, though. I didn't know he was in Germany. So when he popped up at the, talking to the Bayern Munich players and all that sort of thing, it's kind of cool. 1-833-401-1440. Duke, did you want to give any information on the baseball league that we have going here? Because I know you already had a bunch of people sending you the money. And Playbook Vic, who can't listen quite as often,
yes,
he emailed me. He's like, how do I get in on this league? So how many spots do we have left?
He is in Lakeland. We still have plenty of spots left. And I think we do want at least a couple more. If we have a mad dash here, we can still take up to 20. But if you're interested in playing fantasy baseball, I think we have 10 teams right now. So a couple more would be great. You just e-transfer $50 to Brandon at sports1440.ca. It's a little bit of a bigger buy-in because it's a full year commitment. We want everybody to remain invested. And also with only having, a max of 20 teams, give ourselves a decent little pool for our winner to take home, as well as make a donation to a local charity. And yeah, it's pretty straightforward. Once again, including your email in the memo line so I can send you the league invite. As of right now, the draft is scheduled for Wednesday night at 7:30. Getting feedback from last year, I lowered the amount of time per pick just by 30 seconds. So it's a max a minute now to try and speed things up a little bit. Hopefully everyone can be there in real time and get their queue built up and we can breeze through it. Cause hey, it's a 20 teams. That was an extensive draft. I'd love to see us get 20 teams again, but if we come up just shy and have anywhere from 12 to 16, I'm totally happy with that too. So It's category league, head-to-head each week. And rather than traditional baseball league, I guess, or traditional fantasy sports, you do not set your lineup for every game. Like in fantasy hockey is most often the case. You set your lineup on Monday, and then it's that for the week, including your pitching, your hitters, etc. So it's just a little bit easier to keep up with, and the commitment isn't overwhelming. That's just the information. If you have more specifics about you want to really get into the nitty-gritty of scoring and stuff like that, I'm happy to send you a screenshot of our rules page. But that's the gist of it.
Any questions? 1-833-401-1440, and Duke can pass along the info to you. Of course, over the weekend, the Edmonton Oil Kings wrapped up their season. Brandon, now with that, the playoffs set for Friday, taking on the Saskatoon Blades. The Oil Kings finishing third in the Eastern Conference. Number one, PA gets your Rebs. Coming in as the 8th seat. Upset special, maybe.
Would love to see it. The little bit of Rebels hockey I've watched this year and the little bit of the top teams across the WHL. Yeah, I'm not going to be putting any coinage down on the Rebs to pull off the upset, but I'll still be rooting for them all the same.
You got it. PA, hey, good team. I believe they were the team that came back to beat the Oil Kings last year. Gave them a little bit of a scare. But they're a good squad.
They're
Other matchups, you got Brandon and the Hitmen, the Pats taking on the Medicine Hat Tigers. Oh, Medicine Hat, what could have been. Out west, Everett gets Portland, Spokane, Prince George, Kamloops, Kelowna. That's a nice one for travel. Nice and close. And then you got Penticton up against Seattle. So I'm sure we'll have lots of WHL coverage over the next little while here. It should be fun. I'm looking forward to it for sure. You had AJ playoffs over the weekend as well. I didn't get a chance to do my Camrose hit this week, Duke. I think Scott's on vacation. But for the Kodiaks, taking a 2-0 series lead. Not too shabby. Fort Mac and Whitecourt. That's an interesting series. The Wolverines dropped the first game, but came back to win in pretty big fashion. 7-1 on Saturday. You had GP and Lloyd going out in the first round. Some good matchups here. And we'll obviously keep up to date on that one. Calgary, a good team. First game against Canmore, winning 5-1. Second game, Canmore battles back, wins 3-2. So, yeah, it's going to be a lot of time. There's lots going on in the hockey world these days. Lots to get to. And then we also have some NFL news. Jackson Smith-Njigba of the Seattle Seahawks. Guys getting paid. Draft well, pay them early. 4 years, $168 million for Jackson Smith-Njigba. That's a AAV for those of you curious. $42 million. Over 120 guaranteed. I don't know why this one pains me, Duke.
Tell me, Connor.
Because right after he was drafted, the Chargers took Quentin Johnston.
Well, the thing about Quentin Johnston is the book isn't closed.
For sure.
People forget he played in a national championship game.
People forget he might have single-handedly beat Michigan in the semifinal.
Right.
But after him, it was Flowers and Addison. So there's a good run on NFL wide receivers from there. Chargers fans at the time were very excited because it seemed like JSN might be available. It wasn't the case, but it was close. It was close, and for him to get that payday, that's great. And it's the numbers are going to go up. So I love that. As soon as you can, sign them to that extension, get the job done. JSN, I think, can still probably add to his game, which is crazy to say. But yeah, it's going to be good. Nail says, the Oilers have finally found a bottom six. If they slow it down and get the top six rolling, they'll be fine. Hard to do, being that in 2 weeks in a complete change on the year. It is funny, some pieces coming together here, and then you have that big injury to the top. Mac wants to get in on it. Never been in a part of a baseball league, but want to give it a go this year. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Duke handles it, to be quite honest. He's going to be the team manager. But it's something to kind of, you get to those dog days of summer where it's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you don't have the CFL on. Like, maybe I'll just watch this random baseball game because my pitcher's starting for the Milwaukee Brewers. It seems like we're getting some complaints about a 5 p.m. start time, Duke.
Yeah, I might have set it for Mountain Eastern time,
So
which
we'll
was
change
by
that.
accident. So yeah, it'll be. Well, I mean, I guess do we care if it's 7:00 or 7:30? We can do 7:00 Mountain time. Right now it says 7 Eastern time. I'm just looking at it in this real time. So I'll adjust that and make sure everybody's aware.
Also, Blue Jays extending Atkins
Mm-hmm.
5 years. John Schneider gets a 2-year. It's crazy because just a few years ago, I feel like Atkins didn't have a lot of love in Toronto. All of a sudden, we've kind of done that 180. I don't know how serious and if people really buy into like when he was going after Soto and going after Shohei. Do you think that bought him any love from Joe Jays fan?
No, because
they were just leveraging him.
You don't get credit for coming up short. I'm sorry. Just because you're like, oh yeah, we were in on him, we made an offer, great. What you don't get like a compensatory draft pick for that. Did you get the player? Did you not? No. All right. Well, I hope you had a good plan B. And in some cases, he did. In other cases, not so much. A la Anthony Santander. So far.
I actually don't. I give you a little credit. If you're swinging, at least you're swinging. I mean, in baseball, it doesn't really matter because you just spend as much money as you want.
And
the cap.
And the Blue Jays are not a team, to our understanding, that operates on an internal budget. Right? They're not the Pittsburgh Pirates. They're not the Oakland Athletics. They're not the Chicago White Sox. They have more money than 100 baseball teams could know what to do with. They're allowed to spend it. Spend it.
All right. Duke's not impressed. Well, I was happy when they were getting a little more.
Listen, I'm on board.
Open and loose with the wallet.
I'm okay with Atkins, and we were all calling for him to get fired last offseason.
Mm-hmm.
Like, show me a Jays fan or even media that were saying, yeah, this guy should be back. Nobody, everyone thought the Shapiro and Atkins era should be over. But they bring him back. Had a pretty good offseason last year. Some really good in-season tweaking, bouncing around injuries and stuff like that. You took the ads of Bieber and Jimenez, among others. It paid off pretty well. Now, they had what's on paper a really good offseason, coming off a World Series appearance, losing in Game 7. I hope that they can duplicate the success. I definitely give more leash to John Schneider, the bench manager, than I do to Ross Atkins, the GM. And the fact he got a 5-year extension after one good season. One good season in 10 he's been on the job in terms of success on the field. I think that's a little premature. That's just me.
Duke's not happy.
I'm a skeptic.
It's fair because we were all there. Like, just years ago. Fire this man. Move on from him. One good run. Good managing. A couple good signings, and we can be flipped. Also should bring it up because it's a real tragic event that happened yesterday for the hockey world and, you know, the community of Minnesota, Twin Cities, as Jessie Pierce, her children, Hudson, Caden, and Avery, passed away due to a fire at their home. Duke, we'll let you talk about it here. You guys had her on with Carius a bunch of times. We had her on with Jason, and she honestly was just awesome. She loved the sports scene in Minnesota. She was always willing to come on and talk hockey, brought the energy from a producer side, amazing sound quality, great studio, and just a real tragic event. But someone, you know, who I can't say I knew, but just talked to when we booked the shows, but following her on social media was just always so positive and always, you know, doing things with her kids and, you know, keeping busy. Looked like someone who was a lot of fun to be around. Golf course with some beers, things like that. And just a massive loss. So for me and everyone here, just want to pass along my condolences to her family, friends, colleagues, fans. It was just a real terrible tragedy to wake up to yesterday.
Yeah, it was, I mean, shocking to say the least. And like you, Connor, I obviously didn't know Jessie personally, but had some interactions with her from text messages, having her on the show, both when I was hosting, when Kevin's hosting. And it was just like, and everything you hear from those that did know her on a personal level and the few interactions we had is like, yeah, like just the fun-loving nature and positive attitude, the optimism, the passion for hockey inside the state of Minnesota, everything from the high school level, the college, the women's game, and then, of course, her main beat covering the Minnesota Wild at NHL.com. It was like infectious. And you heard some of her peers inside Minnesota, like Michael Russo, among others, really, really share some heartfelt memories and tributes. And yeah, just the bubbly nature, just the pit that forms on the bottom of your stomach when you see news like this. It's pretty tough to comprehend. So just to really echo what you said, sending nothing but the absolute best and everything we can to her husband, family, and colleagues and everyone around the Minnesota Wild community.
Well said. We'll take a break. When we come back, more Fantasy Frenzy brought to you by Wilhauk Beef Jerky.
With the lead up to the playoffs underway, players are definitely stepping up their game.
And the fans are doing the same. Simple snacks like chips and dip may work at the front half of the season, but now more and more fans are rocking the Wilhauk Beef Jerky for game time get-togethers.
Just make sure you bring enough for everyone if you want to be invited back for the playoffs.
Make your next hockey game day a Will Hockey game day with Wilhauk Beef Jerky, only available in Leduc. Get yours today, because you don't win games with salad.
Hey, Edmonton, did you know a local Play Alberta winner scored over $500,000 on Mega Jackpots Ocean Bells? Think about the season tickets you could lock down with that kind of cash. From major casino winners every hour to jackpots worth millions and hundreds of popular games to money that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up for Play Alberta. Download the app today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. When you gamble, use your game sense. Welcome to Silent Ice Center, the region's newest hockey and event center in Nisku. Featuring 2 NHL-size ice surfaces, premium seating, private suites, and an electric atmosphere. From elite hockey to major tournaments, concerts, and special events, this is where the action lives. And with Summit Restaurant overlooking the rink, every event is a full experience. Silent Ice Center, built for champions, built for the community. Book your ice, your event, or your next big night at Silent Ice Center. Email booking at silenticecenter.com.
Do you work for a company that wants to reach people who love sports? Or maybe you're looking to hire people who love sports. Sports 1440 partners with dozens of local businesses, connecting with tens of thousands of Edmonton sports fans every day. On the radio, on the listening apps, on YouTube, and on social media. Contact our sales team today to see what Sports 1440 can do for you. Email Gregor at sports1440.ca to get started.
At Fountain Tire, the savings come in threes. Up to 25% off select tires, a mail-in rebate of up to $100 off a set of 4 select tires, and $50 off $150 service. We're basically the BLT of savings. Until April 25th. Restrictions apply. Book today.
This hockey season, before every game, check out the pregame show with Andrew Walker on Sports 1440. It's brought to you by Titan Supply, your only source for rigging, lifting, and hauling products. Visit titansupply.ca.
NHL Star Sticks are back in McDonald's, and we're celebrating by going bigger.
Make that smaller, way smaller than ever before.
Collect the set and get one of 7 mini sticks with every NHL Star Sticks meal. Featuring McDavid, Matthews, Quinn Hughes, Makar, Celebrini, Reinhardt, and Montembeau. So get yours while they last. 1 stick per meal purchase. Limited time at participating Canadian restaurants.
Got a car you're ready to part with? Find out what it's worth, fast, easy, and totally free at Go Auto. We're talking top dollar trade-ins, whether it's a little worn or still rocking that new car smell. Just a few clicks, and boom, you've got your value. Text value to 780-777-7777 to start. That's value to 780 all sevens. Why guess what it's worth? Let Go Auto show you the money.
Ah, yes, Alberta in March. Green beer and slushy roads. Where the only thing worse than the roads is trusting them. If your brakes are squealing louder than a pub on game night, or your shocks feel like they found potholes instead of a pot of gold, it's time to go to Napa Auto Parts. With over 85 locations in Alberta, Napa has the quality parts, tools, equipment, and know-how to keep your ride smooth and feeling confident, more than lucky. Visit your local store today or visit online at napacanada.com. That's Napa Know-How.
Fast track your financial goals with a special rate term deposit from Vision Credit Union. For a limited time, take advantage of a great rate on 1, 3, or 5-year terms. Plus, as a Vision Credit Union member, you can earn up to 25% more on your interest through profit shares. For details, contact your branch today or visit visioncu.ca. That's visioncu.ca.
Get the inside scoop for your team on Fantasy Frenzy with Halley and Douglas on Sports 1440.
Presented by Will Hawk Beef Jerky, home of Alberta's best beef jerky.
Back to Fantasy Frenzy here on Sports 1440. Connor Halley, Brandon Douglas, Josh Fenwick, and Country Mac with you here from the Sports 1440 studios in West Edmonton Mall. Sun is shining. Hope everybody had a great weekend. Duke crushing it in the curling. Mackenzie was doing pre and post at the Oil Kings game. Josh, I haven't asked you what you done in the weekend. Not, he doesn't want to talk about it. Oh, we'll ask you next break then. For me, didn't do a whole lot. Watched a show on Disney Plus, Paradise. It's interesting. Worth a check out if you're bored. Watch some college basketball for sure. Duke, where do you want to start as we go in the inbox for elksnation.ca, 2-weekly podcast with Eddie Steele and Devin Kruger breaking down the green and gold, the most in-depth W football coverage you're going to find. elksnation.ca. They got all the stuff, podcast videos, and articles. On the men's side, the Fantasy Frenzy. Wait, no, it's not. It is ours, isn't it? I'm in 10th spot.
Pretty good.
Tied with defending champion Eddie Steele.
Well, it's removed 1 year to champion, but past champion.
He's been a champion. The banners hang forever.
Flags fly forever.
Declan Kruger, resident expert, and a few others. Brad, Byron, Nate, son of Melanie in sales.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait, no, Nate's 10 points up on us.
Oh.
Now, right now, Matt and Johnny leading the way. And they both have Duke, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to catch them. But you got Shane, Shannon, and Jason all in the hunt with different teams picked. So, you want to tell the people who you picked to win this whole thing?
The Gators, and they're dead. They're out. Tough loss for Florida. It was an exciting finish, I suppose, right? If I'm trying to give some justification or coping. I'll say this, and I said it with Kevin this morning. There's been a lot of narrative, and I've been right in the middle of it, that college basketball and the tournament doesn't have the same allure anymore because of the NIL era. The top teams have just gotten better, right? The lower seeds, they're there. Congrats, you won your mid-major conference or whatever to get into the dance. But at the end of the day, we're going to see number 1 seeds, probably some number 2 seeds, and that's pretty much it come Final Four time and Elite 8 time, right? It's kind of trending sort of that way again. There are some lower seeds still kicking and all the power to them, but at least the games have still been really, really competitive for the most part. And there's been, I've already lost count of how many like super thrilling finishes that have come down to, shots made in the last 5 seconds or less, couple legitimate buzzer beaters along the way too, including the Johnnies yesterday to advance. And my biggest fault in my bracket so far this year is holding grudges against teams in years past or even coaches in years past that I had strong faith and belief in that went on to let me down. I say, I'm done with you moving forward. Most notably, the aforementioned St. John's Red. Mm-hmm. Coach Cal, now with Arkansas. Alabama, and their criminal syndicate best player.
Oh, that's a wild story.
That's 2 pounds is a lot of weed.
Yeah.
And and then you say, it's like, listen, could you get away with? They probably give you like an award for that in California or Oregon, but in Alabama, that don't fly. And guess what? You play in Alabama. So anyway,
it's like maybe one of the dumbest things you could do.
Well, yeah, we used to say the same thing about when NFL players would get suspended for testing positive for marijuana, right?
Yeah.
You say, this is a dumb rule, but at the same time, it's a rule. This isn't like a secret inside the CBA. It's a rule. If you want to be an NFL player, don't. Some learn that lesson faster than others. Others, we kind of never saw them again. Shout out John Ross.
Yeah, that was quick.
Or the other really fat, Flash Gordon.
Josh Gordon. Well, he
had a lot of things going on, but still.
He had a beer on the flight home at the end of the season, and it's like, no, man, season doesn't end till after the Super Bowl. which is, we can criticize the rules, but the rules. Yeah, that was a silly one. Anywho, it's been a fun tournament, though.
Very, very fun. Through just 4 days, it's been excellent. I've really enjoyed it.
Duke did bounce back against TCU, kind of like, okay, we got that scare out of our way.
Which, to be honest, I kind of expected. Like, when you have a really good team that gets that scare early, you kind of look at it as two ways. Like, all right, this is a crack in the armor and this team isn't that good. Or they just did not bring anything close to what they're capable of and is a bit of a wake-up call for them. It was the latter for Duke's case. They took care of business against the Frogs.
That's all Declan and I were saying when it was happening. Hey, little adversity builds character. Now they're going to roll through it. They get St. John's. Oh, when is it? Friday? Thursday, the 27th? That's Friday, I think. It's going to be a good tournament. Then on the women's side, Duke, you took some swings, I suppose, hey?
That might be the best way to put it in the first round. And I pretty much got all of them wrong.
On Friday at 6 o'clock, I was tied for first place. I was perfect.
In the world?
In the world. And then I got home and like 3 games ended and I lost 2 of them. So I dropped down to 700,000 or something.
My 2 boldest upsets that I took in the first round were the Lady Volunteers to beat NC State. And I was just all over the Miami of Ohio train. So I took their women's team as well as a 13 seed to upset West Virginia. Both wrong. And I think all 4 of my final 4 are still intact, but that shouldn't come as a surprise because I think I just took all the number 1 seeds.
Yeah, I did that.
Oh, wrong. Sides. I took Michigan, who's a 2, to be in my final 4. So getting a little spicy.
You're bold. You are bold that way. 1-833-401-1440. Cat Dad says 2 pounds. That's personal. I don't really know how much is 2 pounds. How many bags is that? Like, well, how?
That's not a bag. Those aren't bags, Connor. Those are loaves. That's a loaf.
Bricks?
That's a couple bricks.
Like, yeah, I'm looking at it right now. It's that's quite a bit. To be in that environment and know what you're playing for and what you have ahead of you. It's crazy. Ricky Williams too. Yeah, I mean, Ricky Williams just I don't think cared anymore. Like, came to the CFL so he could smoke. I mean, that was
shout out Canada.
I think that was like the thing with back in the CFL. It's like, yeah, there's one drug test at the start of the year. The NFL, and I thought certain things were a little more cool than other things. In the NFL, Pat McAfee's talked about it a lot of times. Like, the vets know when the drug test is. They know when it's going to happen. If you get it done early, you're done for the year. So, you kind of get away from it. And then, I mean, just on like the whole morality of it all, Duke, if you could use that instead of addictive painkillers to ease a little pain,
right?
Maybe there's a thing that comes from the ground might be a little healthier than something that's going to be addictive and kill your insides.
I won't disagree with you.
Yeah,
I won't.
I think we're on the same page here. Text line is 1-833-401-1440. We did mention that the Jays making some extensions, and we are going to have Blue Jays baseball starting on Friday. A few more people have texted in questions about the Fantasy Baseball League. If you do want to get in on the Fantasy Baseball League, though, we are doing this year. It's a $50 transfer to Brandon at sports1440.ca. Include your email in the memo. The draft is going to be on Wednesday. So that's just 2 sleeps, tonight and tomorrow. And then Wednesday evening, the draft will happen. It is a lot of fun. Like I said, in the middle of the summer, when it's midweek and there's not any CFL football going on, things kind of slow down. It just makes the baseball a little bit more entertaining. Tiger says, Canadian playing on the Illinois ladies team set the freshman scoring record. Sierra Parchment. 6'3", 18-year-old from Central Canada.
What a beast.
I mean, we saw the big Frenchman on Florida.
Olivier Roux.
It was very funny.
Most of my Twitter was dominated by Canada's wondering why we have a goaltending problem. Why did we let this man play basketball?
Well, you got to question his mobility out there. You just put him on his knees and say, take up the whole net?
Yeah.
Kind of simple. And there's another young protege coming too. He's only like 15, but he's 7'6". Yeah, I don't know where he's going to end up playing. What's in the water in Quebec? I guess even Edie. How big was he? 7'4"?
He's a big man.
Is he doing okay?
He was having, I thought, a pretty good year for Memphis, but the Grizzlies suck.
Yeah. Last 5 games. He's not putting up crazy numbers. Hey, they beat Sacramento and he was plus 25 when it comes to plus minus. How about that? 12 points, 10 points. He had 32 points.
Yeah, but because he's been hurt, is he not? Yeah, oh yeah, here we go. Missed remainder of season.
Oh.
And that goes back to, well, his last game was the end December.
You know what I like about him? He's 7'3" and he's more than 240 pounds.
Okay.
He's a big man. He's not tall. He's big. Like Wemby is tall.
You look like you could snap him in half.
Yeah. Edie's 7'3", 305. That's how we build them in Canada.
Got to survive our harsh winters.
How are we going to do at the Olympics? Can we take down the States? Josh nods. You're nodding.
I'm in.
I mean, we got the best player in the world. SGA. Who else do we have?
Nikhil Alexander-Walker, who's having a great year in Hotlanta.
Okay.
Still got Jamal Murray.
Is Wiggins going to play? We got RJ Barrett. Edie. More on the go. Could we bring in this guy from France? The French Canadian?
Will Kelly Olynyk still be around?
Captain Kelly.
Is Tristan Thompson still playing? Could he? No.
We're giving the nod. No, we got some guys, man.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Lou Dort. Dylan Brooks for the swag.
For his lockdown defense. He'll shut down LeBron.
He'll be talking? Is that talking?
Twitter fingers.
Cookies? What does that mean?
I don't know.
Oh, Josh Steele. Hey, man, I'm looking forward to it. Canada loses in ice hockey to the States, but then beats them in basketball. Things could be changing. And it's our game if it happens. By some of their logic, it was our game when the Raptors won the NBA championship, but that makes no sense. We'll take a quick break here. When we come back, more text 1-833-401-1440, and we'll let you know what's coming up on the Lowdown with Low Tide and the Jason Krager Show. It is Fantasy Frenzy, brought to you by Will Hawk Beef Jerky.
Struggling to find skilled workers? What if you could fill your talent pipeline with motivated, pre-vetted youth and receive funding to support your efforts? At Careers The Next Generation, we connect Alberta employers with interns in skilled trades, IT, agriculture, forestry, and more. All WCB covered, high school accredited, safety trained, and ready to contribute from day one. With 83% of RAP students continuing their apprenticeships after high school, investing in youth today means securing your workforce for tomorrow. Don't wait. Visit careersnextgen.ca to get started.
Performance by Action Electrical today. Their projects team kicks things off, designing and building with unmatched skill.
Then the service team swoops in for those crucial repairs and maintenance. And don't forget the testing team, ensuring everything's safe and sound before the solar team scores with sustainable energy.
A complete team effort. Have Action Electrical bring home a win for you and your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
At Hughes, it's all about getting in and out quick and clean. No cash, no problem. With Hughes' new tap and wash system, all you need is your debit or credit card to get your vehicle sparkling clean.
Find us at HughesCarWash.com.
Need a new ride for road trips, errands, or just life on the go? Go Auto offers a massive selection with over 15,000 new and used vehicles to choose from. With over 70 locations across Western Canada, finding your next ride has never been easier. Whether it's a roomy SUV for the family, a sleek car for the open road, or a rugged truck for your weekend adventures, you'll find it here at a price you'll love. Explore thousands of vehicles today at goauto.ca.
Oil Country. Your seat is closer than you think. Starting at just $28 a week with a deposit-free payment plan available. Securing your full, half, and quarter season seats inside Rogers Place for the 2026-27 season has never been easier. Sign up for pre-sale access at edmontonoilers.com/season seats. Experience all that Rogers Place has to offer during an Oilers game night by visiting edmontonoilers.com/season seats.
A Saskatchewan boy
boy who grew up loving and playing sports. At least we think he grew up. Listen to Kevin Carius weekday mornings from 7 to 11 on Edmonton's home for sports, Sports 1440.
It's happened again, and construction season is coming soon. Job delayed, money lost, and clients disappointed because your rigging failed and it wasn't inspected. Don't let this happen to you. Have your lifting slings, fittings, hoisting tools, and safety harnesses checked with Titan Supply. Titan Supply offers certified on-site and in-house rigging inspections and service, so they can repair it, replace it, and recertify it. Titan Supply in Edmonton, Grand Prairie, Red Deer, and Calgary, and at titansupply.ca. Lift, dig, haul.
Being a living organ donor is a noble, life-changing act. But there's more than one way to be a hero. Join the Living Donor Circle of Excellence. As an employer, you can give the gift of time and remove financial barriers to make employee donations easier. You'll earn recognition, a raised corporate profile, employee satisfaction, and of course, be a huge part in saving lives in desperate need. Support the sacrifice of living donors. Discover how to join the Living Donor Circle of Excellence program today at kidney.ca.
Oh, mama, I'm in fear for my life from the long arm of the law.
Every coach needs a game plan. Plan your fantasy frenzy with Halley and Douglas right here on Edmonton's Sports 1440.
Presented by Will Hawk Beef Jerky, home of Alberta's best beef jerky.
$11:43. Welcome back to Fantasy Frenzy here on Sports 1440. Connor Halley, Brandon Douglas, Josh Fenwick, and intern Mackenzie with you here. Text lines 1-833-401-1440. The show, as always, brought to you by Will Hawk Beef Jerky, home of Alberta's best beef jerky. Online at willhawkbeefjerky.com. Text lines 1-833-401-1440. Shout out to Mac getting in on the baseball league. Sent the money in. We'll see you in the draft Wednesday evening.
Just like that, I think we're at 13 teams.
So that's pretty good.
Because as of this morning, I saw us had 10 confirmed, and that did not include any of Playbook Vic, Aaron, or maybe Aaron is in, looks like. Okay, so maybe we're at 12. 12 confirmed. Yeah, Aaron just joined today, so it's pretty good. It's got room for more still if you want to get in on the action.
So right now, that's a $300 prize to the winner, $300 to the Ben Stelter Foundation. So shout out to everyone who's sending the money. If you want to get in on it, you got a couple more days still. 1-833-401-1440. Now, coming up next, Lowdown Flow Tide. It is Monday. Rachel Krychek, Jason Greger, joining Low Tide and Declan Kruger from noon to 2. And on the Greger Show from 2 until 6. Lots to get to. Still filling up the show. But Sean Brown, of course, will be by. Former NHLer, our co-host from 2 till 4. We'll have Kevin Woodley in there. Mark Spector is going to join us. Cam Tate's 2-minute warning. Connor Clattenburg of the Bakersfield Condors also will be by. So make sure you keep it locked here on Sports 1440 throughout the remainder of your day. JZ Glazer says, Mahomes or a first-round pick, 4th overall, and a first-round pick, 10th overall. 10-man league, SFPPR. Already have Hurts, Caleb, and Herbert. Being that quarterbacks carry less value in a 10-man, is it fair value to move off Mahomes and grab one of the top-end wide receivers coming in the rookie draft? Cheers, boys. I would think so. Like, I do like Mahomes' upside this year, adding Kenneth Walker. I think that's good. But at the same time, losing some guys. What's going to happen with what's his name? They bring back Thornton. He's a big play machine. Well, I've already forgot his name.
Taekwon?
No, the guy we don't like.
Rasheed Rice?
Yeah,
Guy.
he who shall not be named. I would be totally fine to move on from Mahomes and get those picks.
But that's pretty value. Pretty good value. Like 2 first-round picks, even if one of them's at the end of it, for a quarterback when you were clearly pretty rich at the position, even for a super flex league. So knock Jalen Hurts all you want. The guy still is going to score some touchdowns with his legs. If AJ Brown's still there or not, however figures out, I'm still pretty confident in the Eagles under what is hopefully a more competent offensive coordinator, be productive moving the ball. But realistically, I'd probably have him as my third QB when you talk about Caleb Williams and Justin Herbert and the continued expanse of their respective offenses under second and third years, I guess, for both guys, right? And or Ben Johnson second, third for Harbaugh.
First with McDaniel, though.
Right.
That's big.
So it's very optimistic, I guess, is the simpler way of putting it when you talk about the Bears and Chargers offensive schemes and potentially continue to unlock the abilities of those two guys. Yeah, I would be doing this in a heartbeat.
Now, it's a rookie draft. So,
yeah,
Jeremiah Love, probably gone. Maybe Fernando Mendoza, maybe
I think you could definitely get one of the best receivers at 4. And then at 10, is a guy like Kenyon Sadiq still kicking around in a rookie draft, or one of the maybe top picked running backs. I'm pretty heady that you'd be able to get to 2 real, like I said, first round picks in just a 10-man league. There's a lot of value there for sure.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, just for example, in my dynasty league, let's rewind to this past season where everybody was super heady on Caleb Johnson going to the Steelers, and he was essentially a 0 impact player at the fantasy level this season. Guys that went after him, for me personally, I took both Emeka Egbuka and Jaden Higgins as receivers between, I think, 2 to 6 picks after Johnson went. So you'll find value there. Just pick the best player on the board, even if you don't know that much about them, if the fit looks good, and you might have. A long time as WR1 and scoring 8 touchdowns a year and having 1,200 yards.
Yeah, because you go to the start of the year, and this is just weekly point totals. He had half point PPR 21, 10, 11, 18, 27, 3.4, 7, 5, 20. And then from the rest of the year, that was week 10. It was single digits the rest of the way 6, 4, 6, 2, 8, 4, 3, 1.
Mm-hmm.
To me, Duke, that's what I think he's. And I'm pretty sure we said this in the draft process. He's going to come in. And I kind of thought rookie year, just without injuries, maybe 500-600 yards. But then when they move on, I think it's 1,000 guy every year. I do. I think that's where he is. Touchdowns, hard to say. 7, 8. I don't know if he's ever going to pop off or 14. But he's going to be a good, reliable player for you. And especially in PPR, I think, where he'll be targeted. So I don't know. I don't know exactly where I'd take him. But if you got him as like wide receiver 2 or 3, I'd be pretty comfortable with that.
Connor, I don't want to totally derail our fantasy football talk, but this is just an update from TSN and our good friend Ryan Rashog.
Do it.
McDavid, leaving practice partway through, is in with the trainers. Falls up. Didn't look like he was injured, but expectations to follow up with head coach Chris Knobloch following the skate. That was at 11:15. Rashog put that tweet out.
Well, that's not ideal. Anything followed up there from Gregor or?
I was just trying to check that as quickly as I could. Gregor's most recent poster about the playoff races, and that's the most recent he has put out. And we already know Specs Utah bound, so he's not there.
So there you go. McDavid left practice partway through with the trainers. Didn't look like he was injured, but we'll follow up. Yeah, maybe just we don't want to blow this out of proportion.
Stay tuned for more updates.
Yeah, I mean, hey, low tide deck, they'll keep you up to date on whatever it might be. But certainly the optics, when you first take a look at that, doesn't seem good. And honestly, Duke,
Connor,
they can follow up with Chris Knobloch. He's not going to say anything.
All right, now, Connor, I don't want to just, spray lighter fluid onto these embers about making Oilers fans nervous or anything like that. If a guy is all of a sudden potentially he's going to be with the trainers after practice for a long time, does that make it an out that he would not have to speak to the media following practice and maybe not have to give more clarification on his comments following Saturday's game, where he seemed pretty glowing in his praise for the opposition and their coach, as opposed to maybe his own?
Maybe. But I don't know.
Listen, I'm in the camp that I didn't really read too much into those comments, apart from he's clearly become more familiar with John Cooper this past couple years. And also the biggest thing for me is that it's just frustration boiling over. It's not a shot at Chris Knobloch. It's not a shot at the rest of the coaching staff, his team, or it's just, why can we not figure this out as a team?
Yeah.
Top coach down to the players. That's how I took it. But keep in mind, this is me watching the interview back Sunday morning on my couch. I'm not in the room. I'm not talking to McDavid. I'm just an observer.
I mean, I saw Spec on Twitter kind of downplaying things too. Like, guys, I was there. It wasn't like that. Hey, Earth to everyone. Is that the one to say?
Sure.
Anyways, didn't sound right coming out. 2-time Stanley Cup champion head coach is a good coach.
Shocker.
Yeah, he's a good coach. And the Tampa Bay Lightning, I mean, everyone's in the right spot. That's kind of what he said. They're not going to beat themselves.
Yeah, Earth to everyone. Tampa Bay Lightning, good team.
Earth to Derek. Yeah, that's just the thing. They're a really good hockey. We've seen that. They started off poor, and now they've just clawed their way back, and they look outstanding. They look like a legit cup contender, maybe the best one in the Eastern Conference. They don't beat themselves, and that's why they're so good. How many times have you watched the Edmonton Oilers, dude? And we've come in here the next day saying, man, they were in that one, and they just fell apart. It happens for every team, but not as much, I'd say, for the for the Tampa Bay Lightning. So, yeah, I don't know. I feel like everybody was just fired up on Twitter on Saturday night. Not me. Put my phone down and watched Paradise.
I watched another episode of The Sopranos.
You got to be getting close to finishing.
I'm in the final season. Tony just came out of his coma, but he's not really doing much. He's just sitting there,
just breathing.
He's
deeply.
And I had a good laugh. He just comes out of this coma, and then Chrissy comes in to visit him, and he's just like, so yeah, I'm thinking about getting back into the movie business. And let's be honest, Tony, you kind of owe this to me. He's like, you just came out of a coma.
That was, I asked you about that because you weren't there yet. The movie Machete, right?
Yeah.
What'd you think?
Cleaver.
That's
Cleaver.
Yeah.
I just watched the pitch where they gave the pitch to the whatever execs.
Mm-hmm. Good movie.
Hypothetically.
EG says, John Cooper also has the cojones to sit guys like Kucherov and Stamkos and point for underperforming. If a coach can say players need to be better, then players can see the coach needs to be better. Nothing wrong with real talk. Hey, boys, E-Town man here. You telling me Caleb Johnson's not going to get any reps this year with Pittsburgh? Well,
we actually touched on this a while ago and said
they brought in Dowdle.
They brought in Rico Dowdle.
Yeah.
And they still have Jalen Warren. So I think it's going to be tough.
He might have to hang around for a little bit longer. All that music means we're done. Low Tide rolling into the studio. He's up next. He'll keep you up to date on whatever happens with Connor McDavid. For the Duke, the intern, and the Josh, I'm Connor Halley. Thank you guys for joining us. Check the podcast if you missed anything. Also go up to YouTube, Sports 1440 AM. You can rewatch this show. Right now, a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Will Hawk Beef Jerky, home of Alberta's best beef jerky. Online at willhawkbeefjerky.com. Only available in Leduc.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Lone game in the NHL tonight. The New York Rangers hosting the Ottawa Senators at Madison Square Garden. Puck drop just after 5:30. And from the Oilers practice this morning before they head out to Utah, TSN's Ryan Rashog reporting that Connor McDavid left the practice partway through, is in with the trainers. Doesn't look like an injury, but expected to follow up with head coach Chris Knobloch following the skate. In the association, full slate, 10 games tonight, including the Raptors. Second half of a back-to-back in the Southwest. They're in Utah against the Jazz tonight. Elsewhere, Detroit hosting the Lakers, Spurs in Miami, Sixers up against the Thunder, Golden State playing Dallas, and the Clippers take on Milwaukee in the nightcap. Earlier this morning, reigning Offensive Player of the Year in the NFL, Jackson Smith-Njigba signing a 4-year, $168.6 million extension with the Seattle Seahawks. That'll make him the highest-paid wide receiver in NFL history. And the Toronto Blue Jays also taking care of some off-the-field work, extending general manager Ross Atkins with a 5-year deal and bench manager John Schneider with a 2-year extension. Coming up on Sports 1440, it is the Lowdown with Low Tide. I'm Brandon Douglas at your Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station.